If you want to be successful with your porch planters, you've got to change how you think about them, and I'm here to help you. You see, when you are planting up those planters, there's essentially three ways to do it. You can go maximum color, which would be all annuals, and it's going to look stunning, but not necessarily going to last very long. You could do evergreens, just something simple like a boxwood or some other type of conical evergreen, or you can do a hybrid where you are putting in a mixture of evergreens, perennials, annuals, and let's kind of break this down a little bit more. Let's take a look at an example of a hybrid. So I will see a customer bring in a picture of something like this, which has a nice evergreen arborvitae in the middle surrounded by beautiful annuals. It's just kind of a classy and a little bit more formal look to a porch pot. But the mentality is a little bit wrong because oftentimes these customers will say, I'm looking for something that's going to fit this conical shape and stay about 3 feet tall. There's not really a lot of plants that will do that for you, and so you might not actually find one that'll just stay that size because plants have a tendency to grow. So instead of thinking about porch pots as being something that you either plant and then throw away a few months later, or trying to find something that lasts forever, I want you to kind of think of them as a hybrid opportunity for you to have more plants for your flower bed and gardens. I've got some real examples for you and you can kind of see into my mindset a little bit. So let's go for a walk. So I've got a porch planter and I'm going to show you different ways that you can multi-use plants that you might have in your arrangement with some real world examples. So let's start off with something easy. You could just take a large mum and plant it or set it down inside of your pot. Obviously this would need to be a little bit lower, but this would be a simple, easy way to just get a pop of color on your front porch that's going to be seasonal. But this is a garden mum, so this is actually going to be a perennial in most of the country. So once you are done with the holiday season of October, Thanksgiving, take this, plant it in your garden, and now we're ready for something else. Let's take a look at this picture again that has the arborvitae plus some pansies and English ivy in it. Pretty easy look to recreate. You can take an arborvitae, set it down in the middle, then take your pansies and English ivy and essentially plant around until you get the desired look that you're going for. But here's the thing, this arborvitae isn't going to stay this size forever. So I want you to think about this as a way to get more trees on your property. So leave it in here over the winter or for a year or two. And once it starts to get a little too big for this pot, you can take this out and go plant it along your fence line or somewhere on your property. And then you've got more trees growing. Same concept if we were to substitute the arborvitae for a blue point juniper, which may grow better in your neck of the woods. So just see which types of conical evergreens are going to do well in your area, pop them in your pot for a year or two, and then start planting around your property as they get too big. Here's a quick little fall arrangement that a lot of these plants can be multi-purpose. So start back here with the croton. This can be outdoors until it gets to be cold weather because it can't take freezing. At that point, you can pop this out and use it as a houseplant because crotons make great little houseplants. These two are perennials, and so once you're done with this arrangement and you want to change it out, this Artemisia fancy fillers can go straight into the perennial garden. It makes a wonderful little evergreen perennial. And then same as this Carex feather falls. And then you've only got a couple of annuals in here just kind of making pops of color. So your marigolds and your pansies. So quick, easy example for that one. Now let's swap this out a little bit more. Instead of putting a croton in there, you could find some type of shrub, like a different type of juniper, maybe even something like a rose or a camellia if they are blooming, or an abelia would look really nice here. And then once again, those shrubs could go out into the landscape whenever you're done with this arrangement. The main thing I want to convey to you is you can be a little unconventional and you can use plants that you might not have thought about using in your porch arrangements. This whole thing can be repurposed into the garden later on. So we've got our blue point juniper again. I've got an abelia here. This one is twist of lemon abelia that is in beautiful bloom, some English ivy, and a perennial fern over here, which is a southern wood fern. So a little more green hues, a little more subdued, but this whole thing can go out and make your yard look wonderful.